20 biggest national parks in the U.S. Number 20. Northern Cascades. Located along the border of British Columbia and Washington State, this national park features magnificent rugged mountain peaks, glaciers, and plenty of trees. It measures in at about 788 square miles and is the 20th largest national park in the U.S. Don't be surprised to see the top of the mountains covered in snow and amazing lakes at the base of them. This makes it a great place to find waterfalls, and Mount Triumph we see here rises dramatically to the sky as one of the park's most dramatic peaks. Number 19. Great Smoky Mountains. Which national park do you think the most people go to each year? If you said the Smoky Mountains, you're correct. Located in the mountains between the states of Tennessee and North Carolina on 814 square miles, it almost seems like the perfect place to make some moonshine. This park saw an astonishing 11.6 million visitors in 2016, which is more than twice as much as the Grand Canyon. The scenic trails, the proximity to civilization, and the great views of the Appalachian Mountains make it the most popular destination of the national parks. The historical parts are great for history buffs as well, in order to learn about life on the prairie, and some cabins are left well preserved like this one here from the mid-1800s. Number 18. Isle Royale. Located near the border of Canada, Isle Royale seems like a great place to hide out at. Completely surrounded by a freshwater source of Lake Superior, this park covers 894 square miles, which is still pretty small compared to the other ones we're about to get to. Visitors can get here by means of ferry boat or sometimes float planes like we see here. Number 17. The Kenai Fjords. Found on the northwestern edge of the continent, it's a location where ice, mountains, and ocean all meet together. The glaciers here are constantly changing shapes, and people love canoeing here. The Kenai Fjords National Park takes up 1,046 square miles and provides an environment where animal life such as seals, whales, and seabirds can survive. Rainstorms allow for the forest trees to grow tall, and black bears can be seen spanning the cliffs of the shore. Truly a breathtaking place to see in Alaska. Number 16. Yosemite. Yosemite National Park takes up a massive part of land in Northern California, which covers 1,168 square miles. It's known for its granite cliffsides, waterfalls, mountains, and tall sequoia trees, which attracted over 5 million tourists in 2016. The highest peak here reaches over 13,000 feet and contains over 7,000 species of plants. A large variety of wildlife call this park home, including black bears, marmots, foxes, bobcats, and mule deer. The Wawona Tunnel Tree is a cool thing to check out, and people can actually drive underneath it. It was first established in October 1890, and it's been a favorite among tourists and rock climbers. Number 15. Joshua Tree. Located in Southern California, Joshua Tree protects 1,235 square miles of desert land, larger than the size of Rhode Island near the Salton Sea. It's named for the vast amount of Joshua trees found at this location, and it was first dubbed as a national park in 1936. Weather can sometimes change dramatically here and bring enough rainfall in order for plants to survive. The park was made to reduce the mining activity in the area, and the desert rocks here are quite amazing. The dry rocky formations that are unique here are popular among rock climbers, but they need to be careful about the wildlife. This includes animals like rattlesnakes, bighorn sheep, coyotes, and even kangaroo rats. Number 14. Big Bend. The Big Bend in Texas is one of the least visited national parks in the U.S., mostly because it's so far from civilization. It's about a 6-hour drive from any major city in the Chihuahuan Desert, but that doesn't mean it isn't beautiful. This encompasses 1,251 square miles of desert land along the Rio Grande River, and if you think desert land isn't home to any life, think again. It contains 450 species of birds and 1,200 species of plants. Bats, birds, butterflies, they're all here. The discovery of fossils in this area has helped with keeping it protected as a national park. One of the most well-known formations here is what's known as Casa Grande that we see in this photo. Number 13. Olympic. One of the most diverse national parks in the U.S., Olympic National Park is located in the state of Washington, and it takes up 1,441 square miles of land. It was created by President Franklin D. Roosevelt, who banned logging in the area in the 1930s. There's forests, glaciers, mountains, and temperate rainforests here, making it pretty diverse. Campers certainly enjoy the canoeing here, and they'll be surrounded by a huge ecosystem of animals. The Olympic Mountains are also topped with ancient glaciers, and they can receive heavy amounts of snow. Number 12. Glacier National Park. This national park, located in the state of Montana, takes up 1,583 square miles and is one of the most scenic national parks in the U.S. Here in this low-angle photo, we see the beautiful Avalanche Lake that truly displays some of America's natural beauty and will make you want to come here. Despite being in the area of many natural resources, the U.S. made an agreement to keep the land safe in 1895 in cooperation with Native American tribes. This is located on both sides of the U.S. and Canadian border, and the beautiful mountains are a part of the Rocky Mountain Range. The vast, pristine wilderness helped it earn its nickname as the crown of the continent ecosystem. If you camp here, just be careful. There's roughly 300 grizzly bears that live in this park. Even this marmot here couldn't help but pose for a photo. Number 11. Grand Canyon. The name basically sums up this national park, and it's become an iconic symbol of the state of Arizona and the U.S. Established in 1919, it takes up 1,902 square miles of land, making it slightly smaller than the country of Trinidad and Tobago. It's one of the few landforms visible from space, and there's really nothing like it on the planet. Ancient deserts, swamps, and oceans once existed here. The Grand Canyon is a sacred land to many Native Americans, such as the Hopi and Havasupai tribes. Here you can see parts of the Colorado River, and the oldest sedimentary rocks found here date back to 230 million years ago. Some people consider this to be one of the 7 wonders of the natural world, and people from all over the world come to see it. Sometimes thick layers of fog get trapped in the canyon and create a spooky scene like this. Number 10. The Everglades. The Everglades in Florida take up a massive 2,357 square miles in central Florida. The swampy terrain is basically impossible to build anything modern on in the first place, so they might as well make it a national park. Most people come here to get an up-close look at the alligators that call this place home. However, a lot of people probably got surprised if they came across the panthers that live here as well. The Everglades are slowly beginning to vanish due to the pollution of the Lake Okeechobee. So you might have to visit this one while it still exists. Number 9. Kobuk Valley. Alaska is the largest state in the country, so it really shouldn't come as a huge surprise that Alaska will make this list a few times. Kobuk Valley takes up 2,805 square miles and was designated as National Park in 1980. It's believed that Paleo-Indians crossed the Bering Land Bridge into Alaska 12,500 years ago, making this stretch of land quite important. There's even sand dunes located here that just seem a tad strange. Created by wind and shifting glaciers, sands give off a strange contrast in colors. You wouldn't normally expect to see something like this 50 miles north of the Arctic Circle. The national park is only accessible by plane, but you can imagine the view from the plane is quite scenic. The planes can even land on the dunes directly. Number 8. Yellowstone Park. Yellowstone National Park is considered to be the first national park in the U.S. and was signed into effect in 1872 by Ulysses S. Grant. At the size of 3,471 square miles, this is larger than the states of Delaware and Rhode Island combined. This photo here was taken in 1910 before many of the national parks we know of today even existed. Now it attracts 3 million visitors each year. Half of the world's geothermal features are located right here at Yellowstone National Park, and a large amount of it is hidden underwater in lakes. The most notable site here is the geyser known as Old Faithful. Yellowstone is located in 3 different states: Idaho, Wyoming, and Montana. The amazing wildlife that make themselves home here include buffaloes, wolves, elk, and certainly bears. This famous park in the U.S. is also home to a supervolcano. Number 7. Lake Clark, Alaska. If you're looking for complete isolation from the rest of the world, you really need to come to Alaska. Lake Clark is a perfect example of seclusion, and it only saw 5,198 visitors in 2011. This massive park takes up 4,093 square miles of pristine wilderness, making it bigger than the country of Lebanon. It was declared a national park in 1980 and is home to glaciers, salmon-filled rivers, and 2 major volcanoes. Don't forget about the large population of black and brown bears either. One massive volcanic eruption took place here that almost looks like an atom bomb went off. Number 6. Glacier Bay, Alaska. Taking up 5,038 square miles of land, Glacier Bay in Alaska is a common location for cruise ships to stop at while visiting this massive state. Spectators might even see a bear searching for food. Kayaking, fishing, camping, mountaineering, and birdwatching are among some of the top activities here. A lot of people don't get a chance to get an up-close look at a glacier, but here you can see quite a few. The park is bigger than the entire state of Connecticut and contains less than 1% of Alaska's landmass. A lot of the ice at Glacier Bay has remained frozen for an average of 200 years. Number 5. Death Valley. This massive national park doesn't have the most inviting name, but that didn't stop the 1 million tourists who visited the park in 2014. Congress declared it a national park in 1994, and it takes up 5,312 square miles of desert land in Nevada and California. It's also the hottest place in the country, where a temperature of 134 degrees Fahrenheit was recorded in 1913. The lowest point in the USA, called Badwater Basin, can be found here that goes down 282 feet below sea level. Still, despite the lack of water and extreme heat, there's over 36 species of reptiles, 51 species of mammals, and 1,000 species of plants that all make this national park home. You'll also come across the saline stones, which seemingly move on their own, but are actually due to ice that sometimes forms on the dry lake beds. Number 4. Katmai. We hope you guys enjoy learning about Alaska's national parks, because that's what's coming up. Katmai National Park surrounds the area around the massive volcano known as Mount Katmai. This park is actually known to fit bears with video collars to track their movements. This helps them see what they've been eating, or also to catch poachers. It takes up to 571 square miles of space just west of the Kodiak Island. It's notable for its bear population, which seems to be thriving due to the high salmon population. Unfortunately, the amazing ecosystem has led to some poaching in the area, and the rangers have some difficulty in protecting such a large space. Here we see the amazing Summit Crater Lake in Mount Katmai, and it must be a truly beautiful thing to witness in person. Number 3. Denali. The most popular national park in Alaska would be Denali, which occupies a space of 4,740 square miles, making it bigger than the entire country of Fiji. Dang, Alaska, you got some big parks. It's a 250-mile drive from the Alaskan city of Anchorage, and a great place to see moose, elk, bighorn sheep, and caribou. The highest peak in North America, known as Mount McKinley, soars 20,320 feet in the sky, and there's really wildlife just about everywhere you go. Most visitors experience the northern part, but extreme mountain climbers will venture off to the south. Number 2. Gates of the Arctic. Occupying an insane 11,756 square miles of space, it's about the same size as the country of Belgium. This isn't your mom and pop national park. You really gotta be an extreme survivor to take on the attrition of Alaskan wilderness. Only the strong survive all the way up here, and the preferred mode of transportation is dog sled. Only 10,000 people a year visit this park all the way up north, and it's really as remote as it gets. Due to the northern location, it makes for a great spot to see the northern lights. There are no roads in this park, and getting here is very difficult. If you come here, keep an eye out for the wolverines. And number 1. Wrangell St. Ellis. Congratulations, you now know what the largest national park is in the United States, and a lot of you probably have never heard of it before. Taking up a whopping 20,000 square miles of land, it's larger than the states of Maryland, and larger than the country of Switzerland, Yellowstone Park, and Yosemite Park combined. And you guessed it, it's in Alaska. It's a massive and mountainous park in the center of the state, and was officially made into a park in 1978 by President Jimmy Carter. Exploring this place might be a little bit of a challenge, but it's there just in case you need a big place to camp out at. Hey guys, thanks for watching, and be sure to hit that subscribe button for new videos every day.